So I think I started this last one with a sigh.
Yep.
And the funny thing is that I don't have anything to sigh about. This is a great time for me. I look forward to this hour every week. I'm just sighing for you.
I'm just really sad right now.
I'm sorry.
For the pod listeners, this is the second time we've recorded this episode. Because I'm an idiot, and Audacity just hates me.
No, it's not you. It's Audacity.
Are you breakup texting me right now, but through Audacity?
Listen, we gotta wait for that conversation to happen.
That's fair.
And we've got a couple of books to talk about, stuff like that.
It's true.
But here's the thing. We're now real podcasters because we have a lost episode.
This is it. Yep.
And we won't be actually just releasing me laughing to myself and waiting for pauses that are actually you, but no one can hear them. Yeah, I think that it would make me look like a real fool, which isn't wrong necessarily. It's just I don't need the world to know that I'm like laughing at air often.
That's fair. That's fair. So, welcome to Into the Twilight, episode 2.
I'm Allie, and I'm here for everything that we're about to do. So
I'm Cody, and I'm not.
And that's it, folks. It's been a great episode.
That's it. See you next time.
Yeah, it's been good. This is a lot because before you didn't know about Twilight. Mm-hmm. And now you're starting to immerse yourself into the cadence that is Bella Swan. I'm so excited for you, and also I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's just, she's like such an awful narrator. Like, it's just, I would be able to put up with, I've read a lot of trashy, young adult fiction when I was a young teen. I get it. I understand.
Sure.
But, with just the narration or the voice that Bella Swan has throughout, right. And we have to live inside her head. I just can't.
Yeah, it's a lot, especially when I think back to, my 14-year-old self, my 13-year-old self, who was reading this good quality literature, TM, for the first time, and really resonating with the things that she was saying. And now I look back, almost 10 years later, what the fuck was I relating to?
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Uh-huh.
We have one commonality, and it's that we live in the Pacific Northwest. Well, that's not true. We also bleed a lot. And, okay, so anyway, here's the thing. I have nothing in common with Bella Swan. And I just don't understand now, is the thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I can see how a lot of, 12 and 13-year-olds would be like, Bella gets me, because, her entire, entrance into Forks is, she's, singled out and, doesn't have any friends and, is the new kid and, is just, really paranoid about everything and just, not confident and whatever. So, right. I get it. But it's just so melodramatic.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the story of this whole saga, right? Is just melodrama and moist weather.
Yeah, and just, occasionally vampires.
And and then the supernatural.
Yep,
it's also there. But yeah, I mean, I think, she comes from this grand, sunny, large Phoenix space where she was living in a lower income space, whatevs. And then, goes to Forks, where it's this green planet, right? And it's 2005, I think?
Sure.
I don't know. And everything is small, and she doesn't have bookstores and all of these things that she could possibly need to satisfy her. And so it's just she's so alone, and there's tears escaping her eyes and stuff. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, her arrival there is, I don't know how I related to it then. And now I look at it and I realize that I'm starting to get older because I'm relating with the adults in this more than I am the teenagers. And I just, the idea of, she's slipping back into her old room where there's one bathroom. The horror.
Oh my God. The way that Stephanie Meyer, tries to make it, tries to segue into describing what characters look like through Bella's voice is, not discreet at all.
No, absolutely
Oh, God.
Not.
I'm Bella Swan, and I'm gonna, look in the mirror, and I'm seeing my pale face and, like, whatever, all these things, like, physical attributes. It's like, fam, you're trying not at all hard enough.
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's like, check your privilege, Meyer, because one bathroom is pretty normal, is the thing. And then, like, let me just have my narrator and main protagonist just stare at herself for, like, 5 minutes in this one bathroom and talk about how ratty and mousy she looks. And it's like, okay, well, thank you for that. Now I understand what this person looks like. Not like you couldn't have done it, like, in the rear view mirror of, like, The Thing or something.
The Thing.
Truly the greatest nickname to ever exist.
That is the car in which Bella is given by her lovely father, Charlie, who's the best. Like, the best.
Shout out to Charlie Swan. Like,
shouts out.
But yeah, this, and it's not just a car. This is a tank.
No, it's like a beast.
Truck to ever exist that, like, rumbles and screams.
She starts the
like,
engine and the entirety of Forks, like, turns around and looks at her.
Honestly, like, she turns the car on and, like, an earthquake explodes. Like, that's the big one. Like, it's a lot.
Which doesn't help at all because Bella already thinks that everyone in the entire world is staring at her and is judging her.
Truly.
And so she has this, like, behemoth of a car that's, like, so loud and just the most, like, not something a teenager would have as, like, their first car at all.
No.
In, like, this parking lot with, like, all these other just, like, regular cars and, like, these students. It's so silly.
Yeah, she rolls up and all, like, the parking lot's full of what? Like, Honda Civics and, like,
right.
Subarus and stuff. And there she is in, like, her screaming truck. And it's like, oh, yeah, no, don't notice me. I'm not the new girl. Like, okay, Bella, we got it. Like, you made your entrance. It's fine.
What I thought was funny is that, like, she talks about how the school's, like, super small or whatever, and
sure.
But however, like, the parking, whenever she's, like, leaving with the thing, like, she's always in a line to get out with all the cars at the same time. So it's like, is this like a shopping center? Why are all these cars just in a line waiting to get out? Like, that sounds fake. And she's just waiting while the engine's, like, roaring, and she's just sitting there and, like, can't move, and every car around her is, like, definitely noticing.
Yeah, well, and with such a small town, you would think that people carpool, right?
Right.
But no, it's just, like, there's always this, like, 20-minute line for her to leave school. So she's
like,
just,
this isn't an In-N-Out drive-thru, like, it's a school.
Yeah, so she just, like, has to pull out her, you know, like, worn-down Bronte novel, and is just, like, brooding while she's, like, slowly inching towards the exit. It's just like, what the fuck? It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, when she arrives and she's like, well, how could I relate to people here? I didn't relate to anybody at my school, and there were, like, 3,000 people there. And it's like, could you foreshadow any more in this
Truly.
I can't. It was just, and she's just, like, so much. She's like, I don't relate well to people my age. And it's like, don't you, though, is the thing? Because you get here, and literally everyone is pining for you.
Oh, yeah. Everyone is obsessed with her, and I don't know how this happens.
It's just, like, she meets Eric. Eric is obsessed.
Right.
She meets Mike. Fuck Mike Newton, the
No,
golden retriever.
Hey.
Listen, I'm telling you, I'm going to say it in every single episode. Fuck Mike Newton. And he's, you know, like, killing Eric to get her attention. And then she meets Jessica and Angela, and they're both, like, trying to, like, be by her side and have these conversations, and she's just, like, not paying attention. Because she's like, nobody likes me, though.
No one will ever get me.
God.
Bella Swan is the definition of I'm not like other girls, like, to a T.
Truly.
And, like, she can't even, like, separate from her, you know, teenage angst and, you know, Shakespeare collection that she has to, like, play with the thought that she could make friends and people could genuinely be interested in her and be nice.
And on the one level, like, I empathize in the sense of, like, yeah, adjusting to new situations, hard. Meeting new people, hard. But, like, get a grip, Bella. Literally everyone is trying to pay attention to you, and not even just on the first day.
Making friends is, like, super hard, and if you're alone and you're sad, I get it. But literally everyone at that school is trying to befriend her and trying to make her feel welcome and comfortable, and she's like, no.
Yeah, like, suddenly her her chair at the cafeteria table is, like, bewitched and, like, opens out for her. It's like, be my friend, Bella. And she's like, fuck off, chair. Nobody likes me. That doesn't actually happen, by the way. If you're not reading Twilight, no, there isn't that kind of supernatural shit. But, like, honestly, though, basically.
That would make for a much more interesting story.
if her soulmate was not a vampire, but, like, a chair.
But in fact, a ghost chair.
That leans a little too close to the plotline of the B movie, though, is the thing.
Fuck.
And I'm not here for that.
Okay, so I need a segue because you know, there's a lot now. For some reason, like, the B movie was really popular in a meme on, like, Tumblr, like, years ago, but now it's, like, resurfaced on YouTube.
Right.
And so many people are making videos, like, about the B movie that are like the B movie, but, like, every time you say B, it gets faster or something like that. Just, like, random scenarios.
Amazing.
And so I saw one today that was just the B movie without bees, and it was, like, 12 minutes of the movie that just pans to everything else that's not a bee.
Oh my god.
Like, there's
That's
so many of them.
Content
there's
right there.
so many of them.
Do you think that Edward likes memes?
I don't think Edward likes anything. I don't think he has the ability he's just, you know, I understand, I can get why him and Bella could make it, because they're both, like, brooding assholes who can't, like, think that anyone would be friends with them or like them, so they just, like, seclude themselves, and they're just trash.
It's a lot. She meets not only Edward, but the whole
squad.
Clan. The Shine Squad.
Yes.
In the cafeteria, of course. Because, like,
the most high school.
Well, yeah. And there's, like, all 5 of the students at that school in that space.
They're all there.
And she describes him she's like, well, I don't know. Does he look like a teenager or like a college professor? It's like, what the fuck?
Have you seen any of those people? Because they don't look alike.
And I don't know what college was like 10 years ago, but the students that I went to school with and the professors that I have are on opposite ends of the spectrum.
It's true. You can't compare those in any competition. Yeah.
One is wearing Nike socks, and the other is wearing a blazer from Goodwill. So, like, choose, please. Now I'm just imagining Edward in those, like, calf-high Nike socks being like, I'm gonna do it to him.
He's wearing, like, Sperry's and pink board shorts and, like...
Oh, no. I hate it. I
feel like Eric would wear those.
I believe that. I'm sure Eric owns them.
Yep.
And the fact that you made that reference, honestly, I'm, like, jumping around right now.
No, you know what? Mike Newton probably has Yeezys and, like, also has, like, an Obey hat still from, like, 2012.
Do you think that he has those, like, Kanye glasses that have the lines, the sunglasses that have the lines through
them? Oh my god. Well, okay, no, wait. We have to set all this back, and if it's still 2005, then yes, absolutely.
Oh, well, that's true.
I don't think, if we're setting it in this fiction, that he would bring them back for, like, style.
Maybe they're cool in Forks still.
I mean, I don't know about the politics of Washington or the Pacific Northwest, but maybe y'all process things a little bit slower than the rest of the world.
Oh my god. That's amazing. So, Bella meeting Edward, of course, and not even just meeting him, but just seeing him is no different than her with everybody else, right? Because she stares at him, and he stares back, right? And that's it.
And literally no interaction. Besides that, no words, nothing.
Yeah,
not even a head nod.
Ends there. She can just tell somehow through his eyes that he's, like, furious and
pissed
hostile.
As fuck.
And, like, had a really bad night's sleep. Just like,
I don't know this guy, but I think he wants to fight me.
And so she turns tomato red and then just, like, dies right on the cafeteria floor. But that's basically it. She just sees this, like, beautiful man, and she's like, I don't know what age he is, but somehow I need him, / I want to die, / I think he wants to kill me. Cool.
Great. Neato.
Oh my god. Yeah, like at one point, she literally says, like, his black eyes are full of revulsion. It's like, what does that look like?
Oh my god. It's such a trend in, like, young adult novels to, like, have full-on dialogues by looking at each other. When it's like,
honestly,
no, ma'am. No, thank you. That's not how that happens.
Well, and I have the Kindle version of this, right? So I can just, like, Command F something and then, like, find it if I need to for this podcast. So when I was looking up stuff, I Command F'd I and then eyes, and it's still searching. That's how many options there are. Like, it's the amount that she says that in there is the most. I cannot handle it.
Oh my god, wait, do you have that thing in, like, when you're reading it on a Kindle and it's like, these are what people have been highlighting, like, this is a popular sentence.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, can you read some of them?
Absolutely I can. So just the first chapter, there's a few. Definitely when she goes to meet Edward in the biology class. Well, let me look it up while you introduce that.
Okay, so Bella is gone from the cafeteria, done with, you know, making eye sex with Edward and, like,
oh my God.
finding out his entire childhood story by looking at him.
Yeah.
And so they're in biology together, and of course, the only available seat is the one next to Sir Edward Cullen, because,
obviously,
of course. It's so, there's, like, she foreshadowed that, like, he was pissed, somehow, but, like, during this biology class, Edward is the most tense person in the entire world. Like, he is just so stiff and, like, refuses to even look at her, and, like, he refuses to, like, unclench his fists for, like, an hour and a half during this class period.
Well, and so when she sits down next to him, right, he's furious, and she's like, what the fuck? But not only furious, somehow, like, disgusted on, like, a deep human level, and she's
like revolted.
Honestly. And so there's this part where she says that she smells her hair, and she's like, well, it just smells like strawberries. Are strawberries bad? And then she's like, oh well, strawberries must be really bad. And then just, like, dies in biology class. And
literally from,
unreal.
like, knowing this person for, like, 2 minutes, not even speaking a word to him, she has, like, already questioned all of her life decisions to make this guy happy. And you'd be like, well, what am I doing wrong? What can I do? Clearly, it's my shampoo. Like, I'm ruining this. God.
Right. Yeah. And so they obviously don't talk, right? Because he's, like, leaning as far away from her as he possibly can on this, like,
literally,
lab
like,
table.
scooching to the end of the lab table, just, like, hanging off the end.
Like crawling out of the window, basically, during class. And so she is like, what the fuck? Like, fuck this biology class, because I know everything. I took this before. But the bell rings, and he's gone.
He's, like, out of there.
Like, gone, girl. Can't even handle it. And she's like...
The bell's not even done ringing, and he's out of the classroom. Like, that's it.
It's, like, literally in the comic book where her hair, like, moves. Because he's, like, ran.
He's got, like, those, like, movement lines behind him. He's just, like, running.
I'm just imagining his legs, like, turning into a circle. Like, they're just, like, running so fast. And she's just there, like, blinking furiously. Like, wow, that was weird.
What a weird guy.
Yeah. When the bell's not even done ringing and he's left. No hint of, like, oh, that's probably weird. And, like, not human. No, just like, oh, well, I must have just smelled, like, really bad today.
That was my bad.
Honestly.
And also throughout this class, like, she's already paranoid because Edward's, like, not having any of this. But she's, like, already paranoid about that everyone else is, like, staring at her intensely. Even though they're not, because she's, like, in the back of the class. So, like, no one would ever.
To be fair, it didn't help her at all that when she walked in, she, like, tripped over herself and, like, died.
Like, immediately ate shit because Bella Swan can't catch a fucking break.
It was a lot. Yeah.
Like the entire school, all 3 people that go there know her by name, and including like her nickname. And she walks into her class and just fucking falls over herself.
I'm just imagining her as this like cardboard cutout that just like keeps tipping over at certain points. Like,
she's literally like Flat Stanley. Like you just can't.
Oh my god. Honestly, she literally like takes a step through the threshold of biology class and like dissolves. Hasn't even seen that Edward is there. Hasn't even seen that that's the only spot open. But just like can't handle another class after.
You know what? I'm just gonna leave my physical form. I don't need to be here anymore. No, that's the most relatable thing about her, because like it's just she's a symbol of like constant disassociation with like your surroundings. I've never related more to Bella Swan than I have in this moment. That's true.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, which I think most of us are like, oh damn. Well, we can't hate on her for that now.
There's so much else to hate on it for, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's just so much. And then, so chapter 1 ends with, you know, she goes to gym and, like, dies again, and then she has to
gives Mike Newton a sad hand job, you know.
Oh, my God!
No, Mike Newton would be the kind of guy to, like, awkwardly finger you during a pep rally.
Ew! Oh my god, he is such a white boy. I can't. He's like, I'm gonna need some more cheer. I can't. I need to end this podcast. So the chapter ends right where she has to go hand this slip back to the administration because she's had all of her teachers sign it all day. Because like, who still does that?
Because it's 1985 and the school does not know how to run itself.
And they've forgotten to, like, brief their teachers that there's going to be a new student, so they just are like, surprise, like, sign this form. So she gets there, right? And guess who the fuck is also there?
The bitch boy Edward Cullen.
Yeah. So she's like, oh, that's weird. He's, like, arguing. Weird.
Wow, he's so angry.
And it's the one time where her actual thought process works, because she's like, oh wow, it must be about me. And it is about her.
It's definitely about her.
It's only about her, because, you know, he's like, this berries and cream motherfucker is bothering me and I need to go. Like, is there any other class? Like, can I just sit outside for 50 minutes and count that? And the administration's like, sorry, cutie, we can't. Like, it's the middle of the semester or some shit. So, like, that doesn't even make logical sense.
Right, it's too late.
It's too late in the most amount of senses. And so he, like, figures out that she's there, right? And just starts, like, growling while talking. And that doesn't, you know, tip her off at all. And then just, like, leave.
The way that happens is, like, someone, like, barges in through the door and, like, the wind gusts in and she's, like, this bitch is, like, angry, and Edward turns around and sees Bella, like, fumbling with all these papers and shit. Because she can't, you know, get it together for 5 fucking minutes without becoming an actual train wreck.
Well, the wind knocked her cardboard cutout over.
It's true. And Edward's like, you know what? Never mind. Everything's fine. You did a great job. Thanks for your help. And just, like, is also Gone Girl again.
Yeah, he, like, kicks her cardboard cutout, and then, like, as he's leaving, he's just so pissed.
His fists are still very much clenched during this. Like, I don't.
Oh yeah, no, they're
so
always
tense.
clenched. If we don't ever mention that, just know that his fists are always clenched.
Yeah, no, his fists are clenched unless stated otherwise. It's a, like, constant state of tense.
Yeah. It's just that Bella hasn't seen yet that on his knuckles it says, like, Taco Bell or something. Like, because he's trying to, like, fit in with the cool kids.
The cool kids love Taco Bell and Forks.
Okay, so here's the thing. I was gonna wait to tell you this, but I've been to Forks multiple times, right?
Sure.
It's a fucked up life that I live. Anyway, so they don't have fast food there. The closest Taco Bell to Forks is an hour away in Port Angeles.
Holy shit.
That's a life I could never live.
No,
is
never.
The thing. But so my favorite thing about this chapter is that it ends with Bella being like, Forks was literally my personal hell on earth. And it's just like, literally, Bella?
Wow, relatable.
I mean, like, same, but also literally.
God, that passage would have been so much better if it was like, oh, it's my literal personal hell because there's not a goddamn Taco Bell in sight.
Oh my god, honestly. Well, because the thing is, like, at the time that this was written, literally didn't mean what she's using it as.
Yeah, right.
It was still a hyperbole, and so it's like, damn, I literally can't do this.
God, those were dark days.
You couldn't pay me enough to go back to 2005.
Honest, you couldn't, any of the 2000s.
I was still wearing, like, Claire's ponchos at that time, and, like, gauchos. Like, absolutely
I live,
not.
like, right next to a Claire's, and it is, like...
Why?
Because I'm sorry, I didn't pick the place I live.
Was that, like, your house hunter's preference? Like, I want a single bathroom and to live right next to Claire.
It's deeply, like, bringing me back to a bad place every time I walk by it. It's like that and a McDonald's, and I'm just like, I gotta go. I'm sorry.
I'm transported.
I think that was the same Claire's where I got my ears pierced, which is fucking nuts.
Wow, that's a lot.
So much nostalgia.
That's too much, honestly. Oh, Jesus. Well, so here's the thing about chapter 2, right? So it's called
Mike Newton.
Fuck Mike Newton.
Hey.
So she starts this off with, like, tossing rose petals out the window, right? And she's like, well, this is the good thing that's happened to me, and then this is the bad thing that's happened to me. And then she ends it, and she's like, well, and it's worse right now because Edward Cullen isn't in school at all. And it's like, what?
It's so unprecedented. Like, they have not spoken a word to each other and have only had, like, really awkward eye sex from the cafeteria and also just really uncomfortable tension sitting next to each other in a bio class. They have not had any real interactions, and yet she's like, I think I love him and I miss him? What's up with that?
And, like, honestly, same, but also, you've had no interactions with this dude, and you don't even know what his voice sounds like, and you're
nothing about him.
Yeah, I want to fuck this dude. Like, okay.
It's just like she has so many quote-unquote friends, or people at least that are trying to be her friends and trying to make her feel welcome, and yet she can only focus on this dude that she's never spoken to. Like, she has actual friends that she actually talks to and actually has lunch with, but, like, none of them are ever in her personal monologue. Like, they're all just about Edward Cullen, which is nuts.
No, it's unreal, because there's so many people that are, like, demanding to know if she's okay. Like, Renee has emailed her a million times, literally.
Renee's, like got child services on speed dial. She's just, like, waiting for her.
Yeah, the only reason that child services hasn't come by is because Charlie is literally the sheriff in town. And so it's like, Charlie is making sure that she's okay, even though he can't cook, apparently, to save his life.
Which was weird, because he lives alone. What are you doing, Charlie?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And Renee is, like, trying to make sure that she's okay, even though, how do you respond to email when it's dial-up still? And she has all these friends who, when she goes back to school, like, genuinely care. And she doesn't give a fuck.
No. Jessica gets such, like, the short end of the stick in this. Like, she doesn't even know her fucking name. Like,
no.
And she's trying, like, so hard to make her feel, like, welcome and, like, has friends. And she's like, yeah, fuck you, whoever your name is. Where's Edward?
Yeah. Where's that guy that you were talking about?
Yeah.
And then
where's those supermodels?
Oh, yeah. Honestly. Well, and when she does finally see him again, in the cafeteria, of course, she dies again. Like, you can't please Bella Swan, is the thing.
God, she cannot make up her mind. Like, if Edward's not in her life, she's like, fuck this, I'm out. It's not worth living anymore. As soon as he walks back into Forks High, she's like, I gotta go. This is bad. What am I gonna do? What a dick.
Well, and mind you, they still haven't had any sort of conversation yet.
Nothing.
And when he's back in the cafeteria, she's like, I don't think he likes me. And she literally says she feels queasy and puts her head down on her arm.
God.
Like, what?
Could you imagine if she, like, actually went to the nurse? Like, she felt so bad, and she's like, hey,
oh my God.
Why are you here? Like, do you feel okay? He's like, yeah, there's this guy. Like, I don't know him.
Burst out into song. That's the first musical number of Twilight.
Literally, it turns into a musical, like a soap opera.
Oh my God. Oh, I want you to remember that nurse bit. Just keep it in mind for a while.
Spoilers.
So, Of course, right? Because all dramatic things can only happen in class. They go back to biology class, right? And
yeah, it's always in that goddamn biology class.
Yeah, you don't know anything about what they're studying until, well, now. And so he talks, finally.
He speaks.
He speaks. He did it. Somebody,
Good job, Edward. You did it.
You did it. Here's a cookie.
You pretended a little bit to be a human. Gold star.
And somehow just him, saying his name and her name sends her into this, gaslighting spiral. Because he's like, my name is Edward Cullen. You must be Bella Swan. And she's like, my mind, it was spinning with confusion. Did I make this whole thing up? And it's
this was a dream for sure.
And it's like, holy shit. So we're here for this, though, is the thing.
It's another installment of Edward literally makes her, completely reevaluate her reality because he's acting a little bit differently.
Right. Yeah. Well, because they go into doing a biology lab, right? So we finally get to hear about the curriculum that this course offers.
Oh, finally, the good stuff. Right. Back to the plot.
The thing that I actually cared about in this novel. And so everybody else is just smacking their head into their textbook, right? Because you're not allowed to use it. And they're just having this sort of power dynamic shift thing with the fucking microscope.
This fucking this? Power play is borderline pornographic. It's just them just trying to top each other and trying to show them who's boss by knowing correctly identifying prophase,
Truly.
And and everyone else is has no idea what's going on at all. And these two are the only two people who know anything about this subject.
No, yeah, the teacher is still giving out instructions of what the lab is, and they're just whispering at each other of is this anaphase, is this prophase, and they're done with the lab before he's handing everything out.
Later.
Yeah. And so then, because the fact that they're done, right? What else could happen? They can't just sit there in silence.
No, of course
tragic
not.
Backstory time.
Yeah, no, this is the time to revel in your post-trauma.
Oh my god.
And they go in. Edward is not holding back. He's like, hey, so we're gonna go from not knowing anything about each other to me literally prying about your entire backstory and your childhood. That's cool, right? That's normal.
Yeah, he goes from hey, so I'm glad that we're literally just finished doing this lab. How's the relationship with your mom?
Yeah, truly.
Do you have any resentment towards your parents for being here? And it's what? I don't understand.
See, when we first talked about this, I was like, ugh, Edward's the worst and is just trying to make a rise out of Bella or whatever just because he can and because he's manipulative and whatever. But now I'm seeing it as he's trying so hard to pretend he's a human. And he's am I doing it right? Is this how you conversation? This is right. And of course, the perfect test subject is Bella Swan, the most socially anxious and paranoid person who will overanalyze everything you do.
Yeah. What Bella does not describe, right, because she's the narrator, is the fact that on Edward's forearm, there's these conversation topics of, parental resentment and, not favorite color or anything, but, deep-seated desires. He's got, nightmares.
He's got, smudged blue ink in the palm of his hand. He's
Yeah, he, at 3 o'clock last night, read, a BuzzFeed listicle about, conversation topics to start out with, kind of thing.
How to trick everyone into thinking that you're a human and know how to be a human.
Yeah, one of his recent Google searches is how the human,
how does one human?
But of course, it couldn't go through a regular conversation without him fucking up, because he accidentally touches her, right? She's like, wow, I must be, really warm right now.
And
I'm,
it's Bella Swan is Ben Franklin because she fucking discovers electricity by touching him.
Honestly, because she says that his fingers are ice cold, right? But not just that. Because when he touched her, it stung her, literally. An electric current went through it. What? Edward,
I'm just imagining Edward's a bee just sitting on...
No, this is not the bee movie. Stephanie Meyer, you did not
Oh my god. No, okay, wait. Right after this recording, we're looking up B-movie Twilight fanfiction. It has to exist. There's so much Twilight fanfiction that there's gotta be one.
I don't want to play this card yet, Cody, but I'm disappointed in you for saying that.
How dare you?
Upsetting. And disturbing, and I'm gonna have really fucked up nightmares now.
Oh,
I gotta
go. Now I'm seeing a lot of just B-movie fanfiction. I'm not here for it.
No,
this is too much.
It's gonna, give you a virus or something.
Fuck, okay, the first one I see is called Harambe's Vision. I gotta go.
No. No. Set it on fire.
Do this.
I can't wait until we get to the point in our podcast where we get to finally delve into Twilight fanfiction. I'm so excited. Because I've never read fanfiction before.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Ever?
Right.
Whoa. That's crazy.
I try to be, a really purist in my life.
Okay, well, fucking rude.
And, yeah, no, I don't. I think probably, the mini ones that people put on, photo sets on Tumblr.
Sure.
But, I haven't, gone and,
You haven't gone through, an arc, looking at all the chapters and all.
No, God, no.
Damn,
I've never gone
you're missing
to,
out on the whole world.
No, I never was, one of those people that, went to fanfiction websites and, read that stuff. I read real literature. No.
Okay.
No, I think there's a lot of good quality shit. I don't know how to find it sometimes, so I don't.
That's fair. You're 85. You don't really know how the internet works, and I get it.
I gotta go.
TBT to when I wrote a fan fiction at one point. That was a deep time.
Amazing. Do you want to talk about it?
I'd rather not, but
we can save it for our Twilight fan fiction episodes. Excuse you while you turn into a cardboard cutout.
That's honestly my truest form.
I think that it's gross that during this conversation, Bella talks about the fact that she's considered an open book.
Mm-hmm.
And then Edward retorts with oh no, you're definitely not.
No. You're as a definitely real life human being, Edward Cullen, you seem actually hard to read. Can you be a little bit more clear?
The proper response when someone says that they're an open book is not, no.
That's an easy way to end a conversation. It's no, that's not true. What you said is false, actually. What you think about yourself is, false.
There's both so bad at doing conversation.
That's why they're so good for each other in the worst way, because, at least Edward has an excuse, because he's definitely a vampire and definitely does not know how any of this works. He's just trying to live in this high school. But Bella Swan is an actual human teenager. You should know this. You should know social interactions.
You would think, but alas.
I don't know what happened in Phoenix. I don't know how they do things in Phoenix, because last time I checked, I don't think anyone knows anything about Phoenix, Arizona. But
literally nothing.
Literally nothing. Although she plays it off as this big thing that everyone should know about. As soon as she walks in, she'll be this cool Phoenix girl. I'm
well, yeah, she plays it off everybody in Forks cares a lot about Phoenix.
Right! Clearly.
It's Phoenix High School. It's what? No.
You know.
Nobody.
Do they have a good football team? Do they? I don't understand. No. What is anything notable that would make her stand out as a Phoenix girl?
As somebody who lived in Northern Washington, nobody gives a fuck about Arizona. It's not a thing. We just don't. It's not a thing that people think about. It's just whatever. It's fine. This silly chapter.
Yeah. So this bio lab ends, or at least they're done. And they're before they get into let's talk about our stories. The teacher comes in saying hey Edward, you should really let Bella do the fucking problems, you dickhead. And he's actually, she did half of them, you asshole.
Yeah, he's hey fuckwad, shut up with your sexism. She's fine.
Fuck out of here with that.
And then the bell starts to ring, and he literally evaporates. And Bella's
he gets halfway into like
a
a feminist argument, and then he just disappears. He's been wearing a cloak this whole time, and he just like disappears into it. Like he swirls it around, and he's gone.
And instead of him, it's like a bunny or something.
A bunny, like a top hat.
Oh my god, what if? That would make this chapter so much easier to read.
It will be bearable.
But instead it ends with Bella driving away, right? She's like sitting for 20,000 years, like waiting to leave Forks High School. And of course, like, she passes Edward's car, well, in the Cullen Squad's car, which is a Volvo,
right.
A normal car. An average human or pretending to be human's car. And she says, I would swear I saw him laughing, and it's about me. And it's like, no!
Not everything's about you, Bella Swan.
And I mean, probably for the purpose of this novel, yes.
But like, it definitely is
no.
at this moment, because she revs an engine and everyone can hear her, and she's just staring at Edward. He's like, well...
It's like a physical manifestation of her sexual desire in that moment when she revs the car, and he's like, yo, that's not subtle at all, is the thing. Sweet
we
hell.
missed out on a very important segment of this chapter, which was Charlie like literally going off about the Cullens.
Yeah, please.
So
tell me more.
We need to talk about Charlie because he's great and he's wonderful.
He's great.
And he just wants to be a good dad. Bella, like any other, really stubborn teenager, is not having any of it.
Yeah.
He has, like, 40,000 photos of her, like, printed out and hung on his mantelpiece. And she's like, literally, get out of my life, Charlie. I fucking hate you. I never want to go to Forks. I hate you. But I'm here for, like, no clear reason. So.
Except now, not human.
Right.
Oh my god, yeah, he's too pure. Literally everything in his house is covered with her photo. Like, he probably has, like, Bella Swan mugs and, like, Bella Swan...
He's got, like, a sweater.
Yeah.
With, like, her face
and, like,
on it.
Bella Swan coasters and, like, all of those things. Like, all the add-ons that you see when you buy, like, graduation photos.
Oh,
like,
yeah. He's got wallet photos for days. Like,
Yeah.
His wallet is not full of business cards. It's just full of photos of Bella.
Have you seen my daughter?
She's beautiful. She's a ray of sunshine, and I love her.
Oh my god, yeah, he's probably has like a throw pillow, like with her face on it. It's a lot. And she's just like, fuck off, Charlie. I mean, Dad. The amount of times that she, like, it's written as, like, CH-dad is, like, way too much.
It's so much.
I hate it.
It's like, I'm not allowed to call him Charlie to his face, but I still do it because I'm cool.
Because I'm a real
I'm
adult.
like, fuck Charlie. But, so,
not.
like, after, her first couple days and meeting the Cullen Squad, she's like, oh, do you know, like, the Cullens and the Hales? They're kind of weird, right? Like, they don't seem like they get along. They're kind of loners. And he's like, you shut your fucking mouth, Bella. They're good people. They're doing a lot for this community. It's like the best doctor that we have. They could be making a lot more money somewhere else, but we have them here, and we're ready, and they're great, and we don't deserve them, so get that filth out of your mouth, Bella. All the while, he's like stroking his Bella mug.
Yeah, he flips a switch real quick and goes off on this, like, love rant about Carlisle Cullen. And Bella's sitting there, and she's shook, right? 'Cause, like, she's so used to her silly dad, like, adorning her with compliments. And the second that he turns, like, even slightly unadoring, she's like, oh my god, I hate this world. But he goes the fuck off.
It's true.
And it's just like, if you say one more thing bad about the Cullens, I'm going to send your ass back to, Phoenix. And it's like, oh my god. Why?
And even so, she'd be like, yeah, send me there. I don't want to be here. This place
Honestly,
sucks.
Yeah,
you suck.
he'd have to think of something else to be like, if you don't shut the fuck up, Bella, I'm going to drive you to school every day. And she'd be like, I'm shook. Bye. Like, it's so much. It's so much that I feel like behind all of Bella's photos, there's, like, pictures of Carlisle. Like, it's a lot.
Yes, absolutely. There's definitely, like, an agenda there, and they're definitely gay for each other. Like, that's just facts. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules.
Except for, like, not in this world.
Okay,
because even though there's supernatural things, apparently it has to still follow by, like, the Christian religion.
Right, by, like, social standards that were invented years and years and years ago that are vastly outdated.
Well, because even, like, if you look at the cover of the book, it's, like, the most amount of, like, biblical references tied into, like, one piece of paper.
And also, we start with a Genesis verse, so, like, right out the bat, we're like, yo, religion. Swish.
Yeah, it just, like, smacks you in the face with it. It's like, okay. Like, literally that picture, like, that gif of that dude who's doing that, the, like, ooh, like, who has the snapback on.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You're
like,
the most.
that. It's literally that. It's like, okay, so that's what we're here for.
What I like best in podcasts is when people describe visual jokes. I think that's like...
Fuck off. Speaking of podcasts, are you subscribed to our podcast yet?
Oh my god, you should subscribe to our podcast.
You should.
Yeah, by the time this is up, we are officially on iTunes, so you can subscribe. You can rate it and leave a review. If you write something funny in the review, we might read it on air. That's something we could do that's fun. And
Now Who's Extra, Volume 2.
Yeah, that's what I call great reviews.
No, that's what I call quality content.
Quality content. But yeah, make some, like, dick jokes in the reviews. Show iTunes who's boss, you know?
We're on iTunes. We're on SoundCloud. We're on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's your
if you have the time and would be willing to spare it, we would really like those to be captioned so anyone can listen or read our podcast, so it can be accessible to everyone, because that's just fun.
I agree. If you do that, I will literally... I was going to say tattoo your name on my body. That's a lot. I'm not going to do... I will send you something in the mail, though. I will.
Yeah,
I'll do
sure.
that. Because that would be hella dope.
That'd be
I would like that a lot.
So bomb.
So when we talked about this last, aka the lost episode, I made a call out and I was like, hey, do you think it'd be funny if Eli ended up listening to this and, like, texted you at, like, 2 a.m. and was like, wait, did Bella and Edward, like, fuck, though?
Great. Speaking of which, our music is brought to you by Eli Krause. He's wonderful, and as you can tell by our dope music, he's good at that. You can find his stuff at krausfilms.com. That's KRAUSS films.com. It's lit. Our artwork, yo, it's dope, and it's also by Maddie Padilla, who's a fucking goddess queen.
Who's truly part of the Shiny Squad herself. Truly,
we are blessed to be even in her presence. Like, she was noticed by Hamilton. She's fucking famous. She's great. You can find her at YourGhostHost44 on Instagram, and I think YourGhostHost.tumblr.com.
I know right now she's having a sale on Redbubble, so...
Yeah, fucking get on that. Buy all her stuff. She's great.
Maddie is Jada Pinkett Smith, and I am Will Smith, just, like, putting my hands out in the air.
Literally?
Like, look at Maddie!
If someone wants to Photoshop that, I would be eternally grateful. We could put that on our Twitter.
Can you do that?
Speaking of which, our Twitter is Into the Twilight.
Yay!
We post a lot of just trash.
It's lit.
Which is not out of character for this podcast.
I enjoy it a lot. And the amazing thing is that we are part of an amazing network. Aren't we?
That's right. It's called Earbud Media. We have a Twitter. It's not super active, but if you want to follow it, it's Earbud Media. And eventually, we'll have a website, earbudmedia.net, but I haven't done that yet.
It still has an egg photo, you poser.
Yeah, I know. I'm trash. I'm sorry. I need to get a logo, but, you know, that takes work, and I haven't done that yet. Sorry.
It's true, yeah. When you are looking for cool art that isn't from Maddie, it's also on our Tumblr, which is intothetwilightshow.tumblr.com. Your girl's been having a good time.
It is literally Allie's just like, she winds down after a rough day and she just like goes on Tumblr and reblogs all this trash Twilight stuff.
Just like, imagine me like in a bathtub filled with candles and my iPad and me reblogging like Twilight photo sets with just like
literally going through
lyrics.
The Twilight tag. That's it.
Because that is how I unwind at night. We have a Patreon now.
Hell yeah.
Which is dope as fuck.
Give us money, you fuckers.
Okay, wow. Want to call it our listeners? Let's do this. I have 30 years of receipts. Our Patreon, though, is patreon.com/IntoTheTwilight. Not gonna lie, I had a lot of fun creating all of the rewards.
They're really cool.
So, yeah, I like them a lot. And if you want to be part of the Shining Squad, the Shining Squad of the colons, but also like our Berries and Cream Squad, then you should check it out because I had a lot of fun there and I think you would like it.
And like if we reach certain goals, we'll be able to make it like even better, and just so many things we couldn't be able to do without it. Like we could have like video components and like more uploads and even animations and stuff. Like that stuff is like will purely be coming from the Patreon stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to send us literally anything, it could be your fan fiction from 7th grade, it could be like songs you've written about Twilight, it could be your love letters to us in general, your complaints, anything. Our email account is intothetwilightshow@gmail.com.
Yeah, if you can't spare, fine. I know money's tough. At least email us and tell us what's up that aren't from Stephanie Meyer, please God.
You can find Allie on the internet at 23ofme on everywhere. She's got a consistent brand. Oh my god. How long have
So you got to my stuff. I just need to do that.
Wow. But yeah, you can find me at Cody Captures on the internet and codycarell.co or .co, whatever is your flavor. Well, on that note, we hope you had a great time with us in our trash hole. Hopefully with less technical difficulties next time.
Fingers crossed, my dudes.
As they say in Forks.
Get bit.